Welcome, Warriors, Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. How you guys doing? A great evening. I wanted to kind of do a video because I saw an interesting article, and this was actually a video with Jordan Peterson, who I'd recommend focusing on and looking at some of the videos he's doing, and I'll put his name in the link area there. Interesting article talking about female fantasy. So let's kind of look at this for a second, just so you guys have a tendency to kind of see what females are thinking in this study. So this is a study looking at female fantasies, and what they came up with in talking with a lot of different females was the fact that there was 5 types of males that kind of fit into this overall fantasy. So let's kind of talk about this for a second, and before that, go ahead and subscribe and like and comment. And I always like to kind of focus on articles that kind of look at things and questions. I know some of you guys have questions I'm going to get to a little bit later as well in another video. But in this one, so they talk about 5 types of fantasies, 5 types of people. So men, kind of pay attention to this a little bit, and the ladies in the audience who are listening, you can certainly disagree if you want, but this is a very interesting study that I wanted to kind of focus on here. So we look at things in a different type of way as maybe other people do. You know, when we look at different things, we look at things as fantasies and things we really want. So men and women, as we know, look at things a little bit differently. So if you're a young male looking for a female relationship with somebody, then one of the key things to look at is a study like this. Because a study like this indicates that what females are looking for can be really kind of looked about and make an analogy with the Disney movie Beauty and the Beast. What they found out was the 5 types had a certain level of dominance and aggression to them. And this is the whole thing, the Beauty and the Beast, right? The idea of the beauty is trying to go ahead and tame, to some level, the beast, okay? And this is what they kind of talked about in this study. There was 5 types. Let me go through the 5 types. First one was a vampire type. And we know how vampires are important. You go back to the original Dracula movie with Bela Lugosi, one of my favorites. This is a long time ago, guys. You probably not aware of the actor he was, but he was a Hungarian actor, and he had all kinds of, the women loved this guy. But he had a dominance to him even in those movies. And back in 1931, when he made the movie, they actually, because it was, we didn't have technology or anything like that, they actually had to have nurses and people at the theaters because the women were fainting because of this attraction they had. Yes, he was a killer, right? A vampire sucking the blood, but he was very, very attractive. And it's almost like that the danger and the aggression was an attractive type of thing along with the threat. But to tame that really was one of the key characters in this report that came out. And so that again looks at the idea of saying, okay, we want someone that's aggressive and can protect us, but also someone who can be tamed, and that's the thing. And so this is why we talk about chads and all these other types of things, why women tend to kind of go in that direction, because what they really want is someone who is aggressive and assertive, but also can be romantic and also can be that person who they can kind of get validation from. And so when you look at those two things, that's why the vampire is somebody who's in control and powerful, but they can also kind of be someone that the female can actually come into and have an influence on. And that's something that becomes very attractive, at least in the study they showed here. The second one was a werewolf. And once again, I think part of the issue that we're dealing with is the fact that on our journey, guys, we're looking at kind of werewolf qualities, right? Look at the beard. If you guys looked at one of my first videos, all of a sudden the beard is coming in, and we're getting there, right? All the hair is starting to grow. And I'm 60 years old. So you guys at 30 and 40 years, and 20, 34 years old have lots of hair all over the place, right? So in a sense, you're becoming like a werewolf if you let your hair grow, right? And once again, that's an attractive type of thing because you're kind of like this beast. And you get into beast mode, like Mike Tyson was when he went on a journey, right? You get into this beast mode when you're sitting there and looking at, all this energy you have, and you need to kind of use that energy. So weightlifting, doing all types of things you're doing creates this beast mentality. And your voice gets deeper. All these things happen because you're in beast mode. And that's an attractive type of quality that females are talking about in their fantasy type of things. A billionaire, number 3, and obviously this is not the same as the vampire or the werewolf, but this person has obviously a lot of power. And the power is twofold. One is they want to tame that power, right, once again. But secondly, they want that power to protect. So if things get out of hand, one of these 3 characters can protect that person. And that goes back to the old caveman days where the caveman had to protect their family. And even though they can be tamed by the wife, they wanted to have someone there that could be aggressive if they had to be to fight for the family. And guys, that's the key type of thing that females are reporting in this thing. Number 4 is pirate. If you look at the old Pirates of the Caribbean movies and Johnny Depp, once again, that's another one that's very powerful in a way, because once again, it's the bad boy type of image. And once again, guys, we go back to this whole thing about the aggression and how attractive that is and the Beauty and the Beast, right? You have this beautiful person who is trying to kind of tame this pirate in this case, right? And make this person come to them and attractive, right? And they'll chase that person to all ends of the earth to get that validation, that person to be tamed. And they'll continue in those situations. So no matter, guys, if you're married, if you're single, you'll realize it. And females who are listening, you know, if you disagree, send me something. I mean, I'm happy to information, but I'm kind of reporting in this case the studies and what the studies said in Jordan Peterson's report, which I thought was very fascinating. And the last one, number 5, was a surgeon. So the surgeon, once again, just like the billionaire, is a person who has a lot of power and those type of things where that person has control of people. You know, they have essentially a life in their own hands, right? And there's someone who can actually go ahead and kind of make a difference in the person. But they're also somebody who is very powerful and can kind of help each other if they need help. And it looks like that's kind of the idea that this whole report talked about. And so this interesting study that we're talking about with female fantasy really kind of talks about the types of men that females are looking for in their ideal type of situation. And interesting enough, they're not looking for Mr. Nice Guy. They're not looking for Mr. Beta. Now, we're in a society where we create a lot of betas because of the way society is. But that's the last thing the females are fantasizing about. They don't want that. They want somebody who is going to be dominant, but also be someone they can tame and get validation from. So it's kind of a two-edged sword, right? And if you're the kind of person that's easily pushed around, you're not going to have this in there. And even the Bible, and Jordan talked about this in his video. The Bible doesn't talk about Mr. Nice Guy and Beta. You know, Jesus had to say some rough things to people, and he did. You look at the Bible. The apostles had to say some rough things. They had to be honest. They had to be forthright. They had to kind of say how they felt, right? They didn't just kind of kowtow to other people. And they didn't show those type of beta qualities. So when you look at Samson, and he got in trouble because he got too tamed, right? That's when he got himself in trouble with Delilah. And Jezebel and all these other type of people, the kings, they got in trouble when they got tamed, right? Because women found them attractive when they were actually strong and dominant and doing those type of things they needed to do. But once they became tamed, the female did not want them and didn't think of them the same way. And it happens a lot in marriages, and it happens a lot in relationships, right? Because the key is you have to continue to have your strong masculine energy no matter what. And in these type of situations, whether you're the vampire, the werewolf, the billionaire, pirate, or surgeon, we all play different roles, right? Those are the types of roles that show that a person can be aggressive and protective, but they can also be someone who can be romantic. And I'm going to do another one on being assertive and romantic. There's two different types of things, but a person can be both. And I think it's important in relationships to be that way. Because, guys, you don't want to be, you know, the problem with Chads and the problem with the bad boys is that they're always like that. And you need to have a balance. Because at some point, the female will stop. I mean, they still may think about the Chads, but they'll stop. and to look for somebody to at least get some validation from, because that's what a lot of females want, attention and validation. As a human being, we need attention, we need validation. So that's an important type of thing. But these type of things in this study, very fascinating, indicate someone who is considered to give some validation at times, because they can look like a vampire, looking deep into your eyes, right? Giving you total validation. But then they can also kind of suck the blood from you. And we talk about that in an energy sense, right? But we're talking also about how you can have an effect on people because of your energy. And you can kind of have that dominant masculine aura, which is important. And so that's the key, guys. So when we look at this again, I think it's a very interesting study. So please go ahead and look at Jordan Peterson's study on this and see if you can, I think it's actually on YouTube, you can look at. I'll put this down there as well in the link. But the bottom line, guys, is this again. As a male, and I'm talking more males about this case, and certainly females, if you're listening, you can actually go ahead and just kind of let me know if I'm right or wrong on this. But females are expecting you, they really want you to be that aggressive male. Now, we hear about all these things in society, and, you know, that's all well and good, you know, and people are successful making money, but the biological nature is still the same. And anybody who is not showing those type of masculine qualities as a male is really going to be kind of, you know, shown disrespect, low respect. And that's what happened to me a long time ago as well. So I know I was in that ballpark with people I dated and different things. I couldn't figure out what the real problem was. And until I've been on this journey now, and tomorrow will be 500 days or close to it, I think, so I have to take a look at this. But the thing is that you have to kind of go ahead and say, you know, I need a change. And I needed a change. And so things have gotten better since I've changed, and I've been happily married for many, many years. But once again, you still show that masculine quality, because you're, in my case, my wife and other people, they expect that still. And you can't lose that. And I think that's a key type of thing to kind of keep people around you who expect you to be strong, but also can be giving validation to you when it's needed. All right, guys, so that was a real interesting study. So I saw this one. I wanted to give you a quick video on this. And until next time, battle on.